I know. Yeah, the way you boom like a thumper. Yo, I said I'm my thing. Hey, the way you thump on the bumper. Yo, it be not something I know. Yeah, the way you boom like a thumper.
All right, here we go once again, folks. Here it is, Thursday, January 14th. Had to double check that really quick. Didn't know what day it is sometimes. Don't even know what year it is. Barely even know who the president is. Anyway, welcome aboard here of this quick flight stream for you guys. I was so motivated yesterday after having a great time with you guys on board and everything that was thrown at us. I decided today after work I was going to go ahead and do this quick stream. So what you see here today is this Beechcraft King Air 350. We are doing some medical supply runs for this COVID environment. We're going to take some supplies from Salt Lake City, bring them to Provo, which is about 15 minutes of flying time. And then from Provo, we're going to get some more supplies and other supplies that were already on board. And we're going to take them on over to the wonderful Telluride, which ought to be an exciting arrival. That airport in itself is always interesting. As you can see here, we are in this Starship Air Ambulance livery of the Airfoils King Air 350, and as you can see, very detailed artwork on the aircraft, which we appreciate. Again, I'd like to welcome everybody to the stream. Hope you had a great work day. Hope everything worked out for you today, and if not, just remember we get a new 24 according to God's blessings. He wakes us up and we get to do it again. So if it didn't go right for you today, it can go right for you tomorrow. If it went right for you today, that's great. Enjoy that and go from there. In the meantime, we're going to take this bad boy up for a quick spin and do what we got to do to pay it forward and give back in this COVID environment. We're not scared. We're just making things happen because that's how we do it. So, having said that, let me show you guys where we're at, because you know I like to share with all my friends and family. So here we are in Salt Lake City, and yesterday we landed on this runway here in our CRJ 200 and went to the B terminal that didn't exist in my scenery. But now, today, we are still at Salt Lake City, and we are on the general aviation side, and we'll probably be using this runway here to depart. I don't know anything about the weather, although I've put in the flight route. Hopefully it's accepted so we don't belabor that. So without further ado, let's get out of here. And we are not taking any specific type of departures from here, or precision departure or arrival. So essentially we're just going to follow straight south almost and get over here to Provo, land, get our flight plan back on board, and then take off. So there we go. We're not belaboring it. We just want to get involved in some good old flying here. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get this door buttoned up. And as you can see also here out here, we have the ground power unit. So we'll do a ground start with that, get rid of it, and then get rolling. So without further ado, let's close the door, because you guys know that I'll forget to do that. Door is closed and secure.
Unable to find.
Now we can jump on board back here and just verify that. Here's where that door would be closed and secure. You can see the no smoking and passenger seatbelt signs are on already. And of course, through here are our passengers. And of course, they're just riding along. But of course, don't forget, we got those medical supplies. So the back area here looks all good to go. Got a little window here to look at, but we're not going to be doing too much here. So this is where all the medical supplies are at in here. If you can see, we even have our rusty, dusty fire extinguisher, because guess what, guys? We keep it compliant. Now we're back here in the cockpit of the aircraft. I've already put in the flight plan and got some systems going. So why don't we call for our clearance first and foremost and get going that way. So let's come right over here and make this happen, folks. Make this happen. Of course, we'll go to a stereo cockpit once we take off. And I don't know how much time we're gonna have to be jamming in the air. Maybe on the second leg we'll get some more jams in, so no worries there, no worries there. So here we are at Provo, I'm sorry, at Salt Lake City. So now we need to go in here, of course, and look at some rusty dusty charts, but we can also get some information regarding our frequencies and all that stuff. That's why I love using this GTN 750. So here's the ATIS. We definitely need to get that rocking. So let's program in our ATIS there, and let's get that first, and then we'll come over here and get our clearance. So let's switch that over in there, and let's turn the music down for now so we can get the ATIS, and then we can turn it back up and all that good jazz. So we'll just turn it down slightly there. All right, so let's switch this over. And of course, we have to always make sure our comm radios are on, which they are off. So here we go. We'll turn that on.
Approaches to parallel runways in use. VFR departures contact clearance delivery. Advise on course heading, altitude, and if flight following is requested. Read back all runways.
Hi, honey. Welcome aboard as always. Thank you for your support. We're going to have a good one.
Charlie.
So we got information Charlie.
Salt Lake City International Airport. ATIS information Charlie. 0254 Zulu. Windcom. Visibility 10. Few clouds at 25,000. Temperature 0. Dew point -11. Altimeter 3052. Arriving and departing runways 14, 16 left, 16 right, 17. Visual approaches in use. Simultaneous approaches to parallel runways in use. VFR departures contact clearance delivery. Advise on course heading, altitude, and if flight following is requested. Read back all runway assignments and hold short instructions.
All right.
On initial contact,
I feel pretty good about. I feel really good about our information there. So we got Charlie on board, and we need to go ahead and put in our actual altimeter setting. So I'm also pulling up this in my FlightAware, and then we'll get out of here, folks, because like I said, we're not belaboring this. We're going to get up and out of here really quick. The altimeter, I thought I heard them say that was 3052. Alright, so we're going to throw in 3052 so we don't forget to do that. And of course, we need to go over to the first officer side as well and make sure their altimeter is set up for 3052, or your side, I should say. Alright, there we go. Alright, now let's officially stop the música. There we go, just so that we can ensure that we are talking nice and clear to our air traffic control folks. So now we're going to come over here, and we need to essentially scroll down and get the clearance. So now that's going to jump in, and we'll switch it over. And let's go ahead and call for clearance.
7296, contact Seattle Center, 126.6.
All right. Salt Lake City clearance, November 350 Kilo Tango, looking for IFR to Provo.
United 1180, contact Denver Center, 133.67. They'll get a descent for you.
So we'll just wait on her to respond, of course.
7296, contact Seattle Center, 126.6.
Meantime, let's come up top here. Make sure all our lighting is good to go here. She'll probably come back on here in a second.
Salt Lake Tower, good evening. Walker 380, Holy Short 17, ready.
Alright, in the meantime, let's make sure we have all of our boosts on and all that good stuff.
380, Salt Lake City Tower, wind calm, runway 17, clear for takeoff.
Runway 17, clear for takeoff, Walker 380.
Seattle ground, 65, 65, spot 88.
She looks a little
with
busy,
November
so
right
we're
taxi.
being mindful of that.
1180, Denver Center, cross Elke at maintain flight level 240.
All right, that's just how it goes here in these busy times.
Denver Tower, Walker 462, 5 mile final for runway 35 left.
Walker 462.
Thinking, man, we
Denver
could have left
Tower,
our jams on waiting for this.
1 runway
It's a
35
traffic build up here.
35 left, clear to land, Walker 462.
American 7296, Seattle Center, Seattle altimeter 3030, cross Ratty at maintain 16000, landing south. Who called for taxi?
Southwest 8565, Seattle ground, we have November, spot 88.
Southwest 8565, Seattle ground, runway 16 left, taxi Bravo Charlie.
Bravo Charlie, 16 on Southwest 8565.
Has someone call for clearance?
Yeah, Roger. November 350 Kilo Tango here at Salt Lake City on the General Aviation is looking for IFR to Provo.
350 Kilo Tango, Roger, standby.
All right, there we go. I knew she was busy. It didn't sound like she got it, so we'll just be patient there. And let her do her thing, of course. She's probably looking at the route, verifying it. And this is a more non-standard route, so they really have to evaluate if the route is going to work out. I use SkyVector plus my SimBrief. The more notable routes that the airlines always fly to regional and international airports, those are easier. You can even look at common routes on FlightAware if you do the IFR route analyzer. And kind of compare those routes off of what you find in SimBrief. Usually they're the same, or you can select different routings that are still valid for that AIRAC.
The 10389er El Paso ground runway.
The present AIRAC, I should say, because again they cyclically update them at least every 30 days, which means the procedures are being modified or what have you. So in the meantime, while we're waiting on clearance, here's our fuel here. So we got more than enough fuel on board here. If you see the left and the right tank, they're roughly about 1,250 pounds.
350 Kilo Tango, Salt Lake City clearance, clear to Provo Airport on departure, flight heading 160. Radar vectors Wasatch. VOR as filed, maintain 10,000, expect 1,000, 10 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 128.1 and squawk 2676.
Clear to Provo is filed on departure flight heading 160. Radar vectors to Oswatch VOR is filed. Climb maintain 10,000. Expect 11,010 minutes after departure. Departure frequency is 128.1. Squawking 2676. November 350 Kilo Tango.
Here 0 Kilo Tango, read back correct. Walker 380, contact departure.
Departure, Walker 380.
All right, we'll shut that off for now. And we can get out of here now, folks. Now it's a matter of setting the annunciator panel. Not the annunciator panel, but our target altitude here. So let's go. She said we're going to climb initially up to 10,000. All right, that's how you do that piece. And we got our volume control here as well. And the master volume here, which should already be turned. Okay, maybe that's why she was coming a little bit lower, but we'll figure that piece out. And everything else is ready to go. So essentially, let's program in our heading. But in order to do that, we need to get the aircraft all fired up, folks. So why don't we not belabor that? Let's remove this yoke for right now so that we can see what we are doing. So without further ado, I'm just checking everything here to make sure everything is off, because then we'll have to get the start sequence going. But before we do that, we need to turn our beacon light on, which is the outside rotating light. And I need to check the parking brake to make sure the parking brake is all out. And it is. Believe it or not, this is the little bitty parking brake here that we work with. And everything else here is looking good. So we can go ahead and start that sequence here. So we are simply going to arm the ignition on the right side. And then we're essentially going to go into the start sequence here. All right, we can bring those back. We got about 27, so now we can go into low idle. All right, we're going to allow that engine to come all the way up. All right, that engine looks like it is stabilizing. You can see we have some rotation there on the prop sync. That engine looks stable, so now we need to throw it into high idle. So we're going to take this lever once again and go all the way up. Now we are in high idle. We'll let that engine get all the way up to high idle before we activate our generators. All right, now essentially what we're going to do here is we need to turn on our right generator. So we're going to go up, generator reset to on, and then we're going to turn the inverter on. I need to come up top and just make sure that looks good as far as that power is concerned. Okay, so let's make sure that's all the way up. And the generators may not be working exactly because the external power is on, so let me turn that on. And again, the avionics is on. And we lost some information there. So let's go ahead and start our left engine. So we're going to do the same thing. You can see some of that power kicking back over. Part of the problem, that starter was laboring. Alright. We've got rotation on that engine. Let's get up to about 21. There we go. Let's go ahead and introduce that fuel. You can see she's rotating here now. And again, we'll come back over here. Hopefully our flight plan got saved in there. If not, we'll take a look at that. Okay, flight plan didn't get saved in there, but that's no big deal. Alright, we can go all the way up into high idle with this one now. We'll let that engine stabilize really quick. Wasatch, and then from Wasatch we're doing a airway, so this is super simple because it's an easy route, and we're going to be exiting that at Fairfield, which is Foxtrot uniform in the house. Load that and then on to Provo. So this really wasn't a big deal. Again, all the flying we're doing today is super simple, and the reason why we have to do this redundancy on this side because we need our map to reflect what we're doing. So now that that's all good to go and we have our engines up and running, we can bring this up to the reset. All the way up to the reset and get that inverter on, and then get this starter off. And now all of our generators on, so now we can arm the auto feather and Alright, all that's looking good. And of course we are going to need to turn our left and right pitos on, and the brake de-ice is okay there. Now we need to get our avionics on here. In order to do that, we come right down here and turn these wonderful switches on. That should essentially bring this to life. We got our altimeter set on. Let's just make sure that happens, and there you go. Now we need to get rid of our external power, which was outside, so we just need to take that off, and now truly our external power is out of there and it's no longer a factor. And while that's happening, let's come down here as well. We got to make sure our avionics catch up. And we're going to switch this to ground, and then we want the tower. So now we have ground and tower in there, and then if we want to put something in our secondary comms, we can most certainly do that. So here on the standby, our departure frequency of course is 128.10, and we'll go ahead and throw that in, enter that. And then another thing we need to do is get back onto the ATIS. So let me just see what that is, just so we check it and make sure we're not missing anything. So now we'll put this in the standby 1, 2, 4, and that's 0.75. There we go. Now we have the ATIS because it has been a few minutes, so we want to make sure that it's still information. The last thing that was current, I believe, was Charlie. So let's just double check that again with our comms too.
Leaving 8,000 direct to river. Sorry about that. I'm going territory.
Salt Lake City International Airport. ATIS information Charlie. 0254 Zulu. Wind
All right, and it's still Charlie, so we're good to go.
1180, turn 15 degrees.
All right, now all this stuff here, we got to get this figured out. We got our bleed air off, so we need to come over here, of course, and we might, cabin temperature will do auto, and we probably need to come over to the first officer side or your side to make that happen, and we can get that bleed air on.
7296, contact Seattle approach 125.6.
So we can get that to normal and get our bleed air valves open, and that should extinguish that part on the annunciator panel. And then now you see just our pitch trim is off. So pitch trim is off, pitch trim is now on, and it was already on. I don't know why I did that. Left prop pitch, that's all good right here. Anti-ice and ignition, all that stuff is good. We have our bleeds. Just make sure we're not missing anything here. Alright, perfect. Now she said we need to leave on a heading of 160, so that's definitely a southern runway we're taking, so that'll probably be runway 17, I'm assuming. So the way we do that, we just come here and grab this.
030, advise you have November as a approach request. Cross Auburn at 8,000 or above.
Alright, that's pretty close to 160. A couple more turns on the knob. I could have swore I had a setting. Let me see here. I think it's right here. Okay. Here's a setting of the lower pedestal.
6,000.
Which I know we're going to have to essentially be messing with this heading. Anyway, we also need to get the, see how this says right here, VOR1. We need that to say FMS, so essentially we're going to tap this button. I believe it's that button. Let's see. Course active, course pre. Let's see, push that twice. Okay, there we go. Now we're in FMS.
7296 after Auburn, reduce 2210.
All right, we are good to go. Before we leave, let me just make sure I have a good view of when I turn my heading bug here, because that would be a problem if we don't. Let me see this shot down here. I thought I had this set up for the heading. Either way, we'll get it. We'll make it work. We're not scared at all. All right, we'll call for clearance right now. Again, welcome aboard, and we got a short stream coming here for you guys today. Salt Lake City ground, November 350 Kilo Tango on the general aviation. Information Charlie on board is ready to taxi.
Kilo 350 Kilo Tango, Salt Lake City ground, runway 17, taxi via Kilo.
17 via Kilo, November 350 Kilo Tango. Alright, so like I said, southern runway, we're going to taxi via Kilo. And I'm just pulling up my airport diagram so that I can see it up here. But that's a super easy taxi, so if you guys come here and look, here's the base of runway 35, so we're essentially just going to turn around and go all the way up here on Kilo to this base of the runway. So that's, again, that's why I love having this thing on board, because we'll be able to see ourselves on the ground as well. And then we'll put our comms 2 in there. Now one thing we're going to do, if you take a look at this notch right here, we're going to actually put the aircraft into beta, which means it's going to sound louder, but it's actually going to have a higher tone, even though we'll be taxiing slower. As you guys can see, I already put the aircraft in there for takeoff. Now let's get our pitch trim set up, because right now the trims were out of range for where we needed to be, so we need to get it in the green range here. And then we also need to set our takeoff needles. So we are taking off first stage of flaps, so we can come and grab our trusty dusty book. Flaps are on approach right now. Bleed air conditioning is on, and engine anti-ice will say it's on. So here's the markers. So our V rotates at 102. So now you see those markers are set. And now we can get out of here. So essentially we're just going to come back right here, and this looks like let's see, this should be Kilo right here. And if it's not, we'll work our way over to Kilo. We'll just come maybe right here and take a little turn. All right, if you monitor this here, it's going to come up into beta. All right, so essentially you have to come back to reverse first, and then now we can go to beta. Now you can see that came up, and you can hear the aircraft is making a little bit more noise. And let's get up out of here. Let's put our taxi light on. Let's get our yoke back going on here. There's our taxi light. We got our pedos on. Everything is looking good, folks. Let's go ahead and go deliver these medical supplies. All right, parking brake is released. Again, welcome on board here. And even though it's in beta, she still taxis kind of fast.
United 1180, we're looking for the visual approach or ILS today.
I'll tell you what, we'll take the ILS today for United 1180.
United 1180, roger. You are 5.5 miles from Crop. Maintain 90,000 until established slope as you're cleared ILS, runway 35 left approach.
90,000 until established, cleared ILS 35 left.
All right, let's look left, make sure there's no vehicles coming so we can cross right over here and be right on Kilo.
Looks like to have a bit of an overshoot there. Continue the left turn heading 330 to showing.
Okay, my localizer says it could be backwards because it's X-plane, but it says I would need to make a right turn to pick it up, but let me double check.
All right, rolling right along. This one will take full length. It will be at the base of runway 17. Again, welcome on board, and quick flight to Provo, and then on to Telluride. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, it just flipped over.
Hopefully it goes well.
This is an X-plane thing, so I will intercept the localizer, United 1180.
Yeah, 1180, roger. You're now 2.5 miles from Cup.
All right. See, there's another pilot out there having some issues. I feel his pain. I feel his pain.
Verify your transponders on.
Okay, it's not. We'll get that transponder on November 35 Echo Tango. All right, so let's go ahead and stop here quick. Again, we forgot to put our transponder on, and the squawk code is 2676. So again, I did that yesterday on accident, and she didn't catch me, but she caught me today. 2676, and there we go. 2676 is plugged in there. Now we're back to being legit, folks. All right, let's continue this taxi.
Let's take off 16 left, Alaska 1370.
All right, transponder should be on at the correct squawk code now, 2676. We're getting in trouble already. And let's get this thing here to the map mode, or to the actual flight plan, since we have the map mode on the other one. No worries there. All right, cruising right along here. We'll probably just do like an IAS climb or something of that nature. I'm telling you, this thing can go super fast. Slow her down a little bit, then we'll come on over to the run-up area. Moving right along, right along. Just going to mainly pay attention to the taxi, or otherwise this thing will get away from you.
Approach 124.35.
Now the good thing about Provo, we can pretty much decide whatever approach we want to do, because it's an uncontrolled tower there at Provo. Alright, so we're going to go all the way up to Kilo 9. There's Kilo 8.
Thanks for Echo to approach request.
And This is the run-up area over here. There is no other aircraft, so we'll do our own little run up here at the hold short bars. Alright, parking brake is set. Now one thing we also need to do is make sure, okay, we got the altitude is armed, which is the main thing. We'll take off and do an IAS climb, of course. And then here's where we engage our autopilot information right here. So it's a little bit out of the way. Now the only other thing we need to do here is adjust that cabin pressure. We're only flying at, it's pretty low, so we can go to the lowest one because we're not flying in any of 15,000 or 17,000. We're flying pretty low, so that works out for us well there. And we're pretty much ready to go. Let's also make sure our flight director's on. Let's see.
3,500, expect vectors for the visual 10 left, southwest, 8565.
Alaska 1370, contact departure.
Alaska 1370.
Alright.
Departure Alaska 1370.
Should be getting the flight director here. And usually it's somewhere down here. I don't know if it's going to show up, but if it isn't, I'm just making sure that we have the flight director. Let's see, display,
Seattle departure radar
map,
contact.
arc, Alright, so we'll see if we actually get the flight director. If not, you know me, I'll figure it out in flight. But usually there's the flight director piece would be on here. I'm just trying to figure out why I'm not seeing it down here. Usually it's somewhere in this area. SR. It's not that. It should literally say Foxtrot Delta. But again, we're not going to worry about it. We're just going to do our thing. Let's go ahead and switch over to tower. And then we'll put our departure frequency of 128.1 in as well. Enter that, and that's approach. Salt Lake City Tower, November 350, Kilo Tango on Kilo 9, holding short, runway 17, ready to go.
350 Kilo Tango, Salt Lake City Tower, runway 17, clear for takeoff.
Runway 17, clear for takeoff, November 350, Kilo Tango.
Alaska 1370, contact Seattle Center 126.6.
Alright, and we still got our heading there all squared away, so that's good. Alright folks, let's go ahead and get out of here, and then we have to remember to get it off beta once we get on the runway, so we're going to put all of our landing lights on, and our recognition light, and we are most certainly out of here.
Alaska 1370, Seattle departure, correction, Seattle Center, climb.
Final is clear, runway is clear. We'll get over here and take it out of beta, of course. And then we're going to be flying a heading of 160. I just took it out of beta. You can hear the engine, so that way we don't even have to stop, folks. Alright. Ooh, this thing's sliding everywhere. Let's get it straight before we put full takeoff power. There we go. Takeoff power is set. We're looking at the ITT. And V1 rotate.
124.62.
Alright. Trying to keep runway heading there. Go flaps up at this point. Let me keep that runway heading and come down here. Alright, that looks copacetic. Autopilot should be on. Coming over to the heading. And we're just going to keep this climb here. And wait for her to have us go over to departure. Alright, landing gear is up and stowed. Flaps are up. Now we can essentially
Kilo Tango, contact departure.
over to departure, November 350, Kilo Tango. Salt Lake City departure number 350 Kilo Tango is 6,900, climbing 10,000.
For 350 Kilo Tango, Salt Lake City departure, radar contact, climb and maintain 1000.
Up to 1000 over 350 Kilo Tango. Alright. So up to 1000, we can definitely do that. There we go. We'll go all the way up to 1000. We'll keep our climb here.
Turn on mic and our choice to the terminal. Thank you so much for the great service tonight, United 1180.
And of course, if you look where we're at here, we're not that far off course because TCH is over here. So essentially we'll see what she gives us direct up, but we're pretty much already on course, so she might even give us direct Fairfield. We'll see what we get. All right. Kind of made a few different errors there. There we go. We had plenty of power. We should have had this all the way up in the takeoff position, but we had enough power, so that was good, but not recommended. All of our gauges looking good. We're not over torquing or doing anything on the aircraft that shouldn't be. And we are almost at our cruising altitude for this very short leg, so let's get our landing lights off and our taxi off and our recognition light, and we'll just stick with the strobe and the beacon and our nav light. Alright, once we're about to start leveling out here, as you see, we'll start picking up speed. And again, this is a really super short flight. Chief Sim Pilot, thanks for checking in, brother. He says he'll show back up, so that's good. In the meantime, you can see us picking up speed here. And if you look at the big scope of things here, we don't have that far to go on our route, because literally here's Provo. There is no ATIS at Provo, so I'll have to get that manually using my FlightAware. So I'm going to do that now for you wonderful folks, and figure that piece out. I think we had an okay takeoff, but it could have been much better, obviously. Alright, so looking at some Provo information here.
And Seattle, American 296.
And the winds are out of basically the northwest at 300 degrees.
296, I'll have a turn for you in about 3 miles.
Okay, thanks, American 296.
So then we just need to determine which runway works best for us in this scenario. And go from there. You can hear the plane kind of being rocked around by the turbulence there. Alright, let me open up the charts in Provo. So available runways at Provo. We got runway 31, which to me makes the most sense, obviously based off the winds. So let's look at 31 possibilities. Alright, I'm just looking on my actual, let's see. And it's all visual, literally. We don't even have any. The only runway that has some type of ILS is 13. That's a southern runway, and the winds are out of the north. So we'll definitely have to come in visually. Hopefully, if that works. If not, let's see here.
296, we're heading straight through.
Say again for American 796.
American 7296, we're heading 280.
Heading 280, American 796.
Alright, and we'll actually see if she, we still are not directly on course, if you will. We're close to it, but we're not on course at all, and we're almost there. So essentially, we'll just have to come around, and let me double check and make sure things are visual there in Provo. The elevation is almost 5,000 feet, so there's that. So we're not that far off from that elevation. But the weather there, it is VFR conditions, so we should be just fine
Good evening.
to take this visually.
Jackson Ground, citation 716 Delta Mike is ready to copy IFR over to Centennial.
So essentially,
296,
we're going to come right over the water, and then we'll probably swing back around to get runway 31.
Cleared ILS, runway 16 left approach.
So things are happening super fast just because, so right now technically we should just do direct to Fairfield.
Record 7296, flight heading 190, join the localizer.
Okay, so technically we would be direct there even though we're on a heading mode. So let's do the same thing here. We're going to do FFU and we're going to activate that.
7296, Seattle approach, how do you read?
Alright.
Heading 190, join localizer, American 7296.
And let's turn some icing situations on.
For 716 Delta Mike, Jackson Ground, clear to Centennial Airport. Gracer 5, departure,
Fuel vent.
Nazi.
Let's see. Pilot windshield, we can put that on. Normal.
Maintain 15,000, expect flight level 350.
There we go.
Minutes after departure. Salt Lake Center frequency 132.25.
Okay, you can see now, here we'll come take a look over here. You guys can see now where we're at. So even if we're kind of downwind of where we need to be, we can just swing it back around and come in here. So let's see what type of visuals that we get.
140 to join up 1796.
36 Delta Mike, go ahead.
Alright, 716 Delta Mike is cleared to
See, I'm trying to get my bearings. So off the left windshield, right about the 2 or right about the 11 or 10 o'clock is where we should see the field. So let's look this way.
Level 350 after 10, departure frequency 132.25, squawking 4375, citation 716 Delta Mike.
And maybe it's more over here.
Delta Mike, read back correct. 7296, you're over Zedkey, and now you're flying back to the right. Where are you navigating to?
She's asking some hard questions there.
Record 7296, confirm you have the runway 16.
Alright, so now it'll be almost right off of our left windshield. Or left window is where we should be seeing it. So now let's take a look over there. And there it is right here, folks. So we have a good view of the field, which is right here.
Record 7296, want to try and evac you to the localizer, and it's a time-sensitive situation. That's not the time.
So hopefully we can come around and turn around here and do the visual.
Where are you navigating to?
Somebody's getting into trouble.
We have the runway inside, we can take a visual now.
So there's the field. There's where we're landing.
Visual approach runway 16 left, 5 mile final contact tower.
Alright, we're going to bring our speed back a little bit.
1796.
Portland, Southwest 8565.
Salt Lake City approach, November 350 Kilo Tango has Provo in sight and are wondering if we can go ahead and take a visual for 3-1.
Southwest 8565, turn left heading 110.
110, Southwest 8565.
Alright.
Alaska 1370, contact Seattle Center 135.15.
Alright, so she might be a little overwhelmed here, but we need to make some moves here because we got a big...
The thing you said you do have Provo in sight.
Yes, ma'am, and we can go ahead and take the visual right now. I know it's an uncontrolled field, so we'll cancel IFR on the ground and switch over to advisory if that's okay with you.
There's your Kilo Tango, clear visual approach, report out for cancellation within 5 minutes of landing on 122.2, change advisory frequency approved.
Okay, thanks a lot. Visual approach for 3-1 is approved, and we'll cancel IFR on the ground. Talk to you in a minute. November 350 Kilo Tango. Alright, so before we do any of that, let's get the autopilot off and get this thing where we need to do because we are way out of the loop.
Alaska 1370, Seattle Center, thank you.
Alright, autopilot is off. It's our aircraft. Let's go ahead and make this turn.
Tower, Hawk 70225 at Charlie 1.
Start dropping some altitude.
South departure VFR information Alpha.
While that's happening too, let's get our landing lights on.
10389er, truth or consequences, altimeter 3016.
Alright. Just do a turnaround here.
70225, Centennial Ground, runway 17 left, taxi Alpha.
Taxi via runway 17 left, 70225.
Southwest 8565, I didn't mean for you to be vector out that far, sorry about that.
Alright, so there is the runway there.
And if you're able, join the runway, runway 10 left localizer. And I'll have a point out for the field here in a couple, about 10 or 15 miles.
No worries, 10 to the left, join the localizer.
And I think we're actually going to, and that's not actually the runway we want, it's the other one. So, let's do a couple of turns here. So we still need to get our speed down. Then we're going to need to get our advisory frequency going here. So we're just going to make some nice little turn patterns here. And get the aircraft down that way. At some point here I need to get that advisory frequency going. See if we can multitask here. Alright, let's go back to here. We'll go to charts and then we'll go to airport info. Let's go back up and see where we're going, of course. We're doing a lot of multitasking here. We're dropping altitude, which is good. Then we need to get the frequencies. And this is the one we need. Alright. And then we'll cancel on the ground, so that was a good multitask. Provo traffic, November 350 Kilo Tango is on the visual for runway 31, full stop for Provo traffic. Alright, we're about 2,000 feet now above the field, so we can essentially start making our turn and see if we can make it on over to, and it's still a little bit close, but we'll see what we do here. Have no fear. Alright, here we go. And if it doesn't look good, then you know us, we'll do a go around in a minute. But let's take a look and see what we can do. Alright. So there is the runway that we want. So essentially now, we are essentially just going to literally circle the runway and go over the water. We're just going to make a big circle. So that's the runway there we need to be on, but I didn't like the approach, so we're just going to circle around once again and come back on it. And technically the winds are calm. If I wanted to, I could literally come on the next runway, so maybe we'll do that. I can literally land on any runway I want, so let's go ahead and do that. Let's go, gears coming down. First stage of flaps. So that's what we're going to do, folks. We're still going to land on that runway. We're going to land the opposite way since the winds are calm. The runway is our choosing. Alright, we just need to make an announcement for our new runway. So let's hold the aircraft stable there. Our new runway is going to be 13 versus 31. Provo traffic, November 350 Kilo Tango is now downwind from runway 13, making a change, arriving on runway 13 full stop for Provo traffic. Alright, how we doing? We're doing alright here. We're pretty low. Let's bring our speed back. Alright, we're done. We're downwind runway 13. We'll come over here just a little bit more and turn around. Our air traffic controller was super busy, so she really didn't have a chance to even get us on course. We just basically flew on a heading of 160 the whole way down. I just happened to monitor it and see that it was parallel, so it really wasn't a big issue. We're going to continue to fly this heading, try to maintain this profile. Alright, altimeter in Provo is 3052, so that works. That's the same altimeter we had in Salt Lake. And again, I knew we wouldn't be able to get to a whole lot of stuff on this flight because it was so short. Okay, landing gear is down 3 green. Alright, folks. We can go ahead and start making that turn. Let's reduce power. And we'll go to landing flaps. Alright, folks, and we are inbound. Runway 13, Provo, Utah, to drop these supplies off. And we are going nice and slow, just the way I like it. So again, funny thing, if you're looking on my primary flight display, there goes that flight director that I was looking for earlier, so it was already on there. Alright, we got a good visual of runway 13. We're going to continue this nice slow turn. Alright, there is our runway of choice. So now we're all visual. Flaps are down. Provo traffic number 350 Kilo Tango, turning short final runway 13 full stop for Provo traffic. Alright, it looks like we have a good descent profile there. I see 2 reds and 2 whites, which means we're right where we need to be. And again, winds are nice and calm. Alright, folks, here we go. They're probably a little bit lower than they would like, but that's okay, I'm visual. Let me throw in a little bit more power here. Plane's getting super floated, we wouldn't want to stall at all. So we'll just keep her low right here for runway 13. And actually, if we take off this runway, that'd be great too, because we're heading south, literally, to get to Telluride. Alright, bringing my power back slightly. Little floater, but we want to make sure we get a good landing. Alright, not bad, not bad at all. Great landing. Alright, got a little bit of reverse on there before we hit the wheel brakes. Speed is bleeding. Alright, reverser's off. Alright, we'll just stroll on down here. I am familiar with this airport, so there is going to be a taxiway down here. We'll get off on this taxiway and basically cancel our IFR. Pull up to the gate, get our medical supplies off, get our new flight plan, and get back in the air. And I think I'm going to use that same runway because it's literally, we need to take off between those 2 mountains, essentially. Alright. Just taxi all the way down to this taxiway down here. Alright, just put the plane in the beta so we can taxi a little bit slower now that we're off the runway. Let's go ahead and clean the plane up. Provo traffic, number 350 Kilo Tango is clear of runway 13, taxiing the ramp. Alright. Let's take a quick pause here. We are on Alpha 5. let us get our landing lights off. We'll keep taxi on. We can get the strobe off. Flaps, as you see here, are all the way up. And of course, we need to cancel IFR. So now we need to see how I want to do this. 1, 2, 2. I believe it's 122.2. Salt Lake City Center, number 350 Kilo Tango is clear of runway here at Provo. Canceling IFR at this time.
Kilo Tango, thank you. IFR cancellation is received. Have a great night.
You too. Thanks a lot. Actually, we'll see you in a minute. We'll be following another one for November 350 Kilo Tango. All right, so there we go. Chief Sim Pilot said, "Grease it." We tried. We got a great landing. I'm still happy with that. Let's go ahead and make this next. And we can essentially turn that comm off. All right. All right, into the area we go. Here in good old Provo. I've never seen any jets coming in here, but apparently Delta flies into here. You got a hangar right there. All right, now we're starting to get over to the passenger terminal area. Alright, we're just going to come over here really quick, pick a parking space, and get these doors open, get the plane off, and do what we got to do. We'll do a replay at our final destination, which is Telluride. Alright, well I can tell you what, this thing is definitely all over the place when it taxis, but that's just the way it goes. Let's go ahead and get our taxi light off, of course. And now we need to come over here and turn our ignitions off. And we also, let's get rid of this really quick so we can see what we're doing. And then we need to get our generators off. And we're going to lose certain power. And then we need to get our engines off, of course. Alright. In the meantime, we'll go ahead and make sure we get our ground power is going to be on out there here in a second, even though we don't have it activated. We can assume they're plugging this up in the back of the aircraft where it goes, so now we can hit that external power. Boom. Turn the inverters off. And we're going to have to get our avionics off again here so that we don't look at those looking like sad puppies. And of course, let's get that door open. Alright, so first leg is complete. I repeat, first leg is complete. On to the next one. Alright, let's figure out what we got going on here. Alright, let's keep it rolling. You can see we get our Garmin. We're not even going to focus on that. Let's go ahead and get our next flight plan in here. Before I forget something, let's turn off all of our anti-icing situations. And we break the ice, the stall warn, pitot heat, leave nav on, turn the recognition off. We'll leave all these both off. We don't need those since the aircraft is no longer a factor. Let's get our auto feather off. And there we go. Alright. And let's get our new flight plan going here so that we can most certainly get out of here. So new flight plan is a little bit longer than the previous one. Flying time is not going to be that bad though. So now we're going to come over here and let's go to flight plan. Let's go to menu, and we can delete the active flight plan, all waypoints. And then of course we're going to start with Provo. And then we start getting into the good stuff. All right. And then from that, we're going to do Victor 134. So we need to come back here and load in the airway, which is going to be Victor 134 to Puck. Or Carbon is the actual name of it. Let's load that bad boy, and then from there we're going direct arch. Should pop up here. And then from arch we're going direct Parox. There's that one, and then we're going to go direct to Echo Tango Lima, which is Cones. And then from Cones we go direct to the field, so we're going direct KTEX Telluride Regional. There we go. Again, no departures. We're just going to do straight out. You can see that again, that runway 13 is going to work out perfect because Imant is direct, so we can just literally get that going, and really we can fly. We don't even, you know what, we'll do something interesting here. We will we can file actually no, we'll get the clearance on the ground, so we get a squat code, which is going to be easier for us to do for several different reasons. Let's work on these trims here before we forget. There we go. Let's get that pitch wheel going where we need to go. And of course we need to check our fuel. I really don't think we even burnt half the fuel that we were supposed to for that route. What do we got here for fuel? We got more than enough here. That's 1,000 and 1,000 is 2,000. It's about 2,400 pounds in each tank. And we need 2,200 pounds to get where we're going, so we don't even need to throw any fuel in here, folks. So in the spirit of that, I think we are pretty much ready to go. So let's get this to standby. Oops, there we go. We'll get that to standby. And let's file for our new clearance. But first and foremost, we must come over here and actually put our new flight plan in. So let's do this really quick. Again, appreciate you saying that, Chief Sim Pilot. It wasn't a butter, but it was okay. This plane is super floaty. I actually enjoy landing jets more than these planes for sure. But it is what it is, folks. It is what it is. Alright, Imant, Victor 134, Puck, Arch, Parox, Cones, or ETL. This route here, guys, let's see, we got 1,700 or 17,000 feet, which makes sense to me. And we definitely don't have that as a target speed. And this is definitely not our alternate. This is flying time again is 43 minutos. All right, SLC Provo. So we almost forgot to change this as well. Then we are going to Telluride. It's going to be a scenic flight here. All right, Telluride, and then our alternate, our primary alternate code. Boom, boom, boom. Looks good to me. Let's file that bad boy. And now let's come back down to here, and we need to file on this again here. So we just need to silence the música really quick. Let's go ahead and turn our comms back on. Believe we have comms back on. Salt Lake City Center. November 350 Kilo Tango here at Provo is now looking for IFR to Telluride. So let's see what we get. We got comm 1. We're on 122.2. So let's make sure we are still connected, which we are.
Station 716 Delta Mike, Roger. See if you can keep the altitude deviations within 300 feet Climb and maintain flight level 350.
So
Let me know if you want to do something different, though.
Ground power back here. We almost parked it okay, which is no worries. I still laugh at this colorfulness of this livery.
I think somebody stepped on me that was looking for IFR clearance. Say again.
Roger, here on clearance delivery, November 350 Kilo Tango's here on the ground at Provo's, looking for IFR to Telluride.
King F350 Kilo Tango, Salt Lake Center, cleared to the Telluride Airport is filed, maintain 17,000, departure frequency 125.57, squawk 1367, hold for release.
Okay, cleared to Telluride is filed, climb maintain 17,000, departure frequency is 25.57, squawking 1367, hold for release, November 350 Kilo Tango.
King F350 Kilo Tango, read back correct, give me a call when you're number 1 and ready for departure.
Okay, we'll give you a call when we're number 1 in sequence for departure, November 350 Kilo Tango. Alright, and that's it, folks. We're done there. The only other thing to do here is, well, we're not going to get this because remember, we got to get the aircraft all started up. So, without further ado, let's do exactly that. So, we can assume they loaded and did everything up on the aircraft because we're doing our job. The loaders need to do their job or we've got a problem. So, we're closing that door. Let's go in the back and verify that door is closed. Alright, because I've been in a situation I thought the door was closed and it wasn't. Alright, now we can come and get our beacon back on. And we can get this bad boy started up. So, we're going to come over here, arm that ignition again. And we're going to start that right engine. Alright, you can see the rotation on it. We're at 21. You guys know the deal. Back and get our fuel to low idle. And we are out of here again. Alright. She's coming up. We'll wait for it to stabilize and then we'll go into high idle. Looks stable enough to me, so let's make it happen. In the high idle, again, let's get our squawk in 1367 before we forget. Like last time, 1367, and I'm just going to squawk Charlie, or squawk ready, if you will. Alright, let's do our generator all the way up and put on our inverter. Turn that off. Now we should be able to get rid of our ground power, of course, and keep good power on here. We don't need you. We got a good generator we're on. And let's get the left engine started, of course. You can see some rotation here. Alright, she's going to come up. We're going to wait till we get about 20% here. Almost there on the turbine. Alright, back over, and let's get her up to low idle. Alright. Hopefully we'll get a better, smoother takeoff this time. Now we should be able to make this happen. We shouldn't have any more loss of power. That engine stabilized. Just throw it in high idle. Altimeter is the same, and we're climbing up this time to 17,000, which is great. You can see here our initial heading is going to be 127 direct to Imant. We'll get that situated. Alright, now that that engine's all up and stable, of course, we can turn that off. Let's do our generator same way. Up, reset,
Centennial Towers,
inverter on.
258 miles to the
Sterner power's off. We disconnected it. Everything here is looking good. While we're here, let's arm the auto feather, of course. And let's get our pitos on.
Number 70225 Centennial Tower, enter right.
Let's turn our avionics on.
7 right and report midfield.
And we'll
Enter
make
right
sure
downwind,
everything is still
17
reporting in the
right,
GPS
report.
mode. While the avionics is coming on board, let's come over here and put in our flight plan on this side as well, which should be super simple. Super simple. Then from Imant, we went to 134, load that airways, 134, and we're getting out at Puck. That's VOR for Papa Uniform Charlie. We're going to load that. And then after Puck, we got Arch. I believe we do. Let's see, Puck. Yep. Then we're going to go Arch. There's Arch, Parox, ETL. And again, this is just for our map. ETL. And then from Parox, ETL, you guys know the deal. We're doing KTEX, and then the mileage we spend in the air is essentially going to be planning, because we cannot have a sloppy approach there. That is nowhere to play around with. And then they said the departure frequency is 12575. So this is our advisory. So let's get that over here. Enter that. 12575. So we have that frequency of 12575 in there, and then we'll switch that over at the base of runway. So essentially right now we need to switch over to this, because we're going to have to advise the folks that we are going to be taxiing, of course. Now let's come back over here to our map, and essentially here we are, and we're just going to taxi straight Alpha the whole way for runway 13. Let's also make sure we're on FMS, which we are, and our departure heading, I believe, was going to be 12 something. Okay, essentially we can do it this way. So there's 125, I believe it was like 126. Let's check that out. Por favor. Back up we go. Yep, 127. So let's see where our initial heading is at. Course is 127, and here's 120, 125. We're pretty close, maybe like 2 clicks over, maybe. I gotta get my sight right here so I can do it. Alright, I'm satisfied with that. Let's check you guys on the chat. Everything is looking good. And let's put our flaps down. You can see the flaps coming down here. And we selected them, and they're indicated. And of course, let's make sure the aircraft is in the beta mode, which I did. Let's get our taxi light and our recognition light on, and we are ready to go. We are squawking mode ready. We have our altitude in there. We've got our heading in there, and so there's no need to belabor this. Let's look left. Provo traffic, November 350 Kilo Tango, taxiing Alpha runway 13 for straight out departure to the south, direct to Fairmont or Emont for Provo traffic. Alright, so landing lights are all on, or the taxi lights are on, recognition lights on, beacon is on. We gotta remember to get those props there, and we're out of here, folks. We'll check the annunciator panel to make sure we're not missing anything, but that was a pretty quick turnaround, if I do say so myself. So the only thing we'll have to work on there is the pitch trim. We got to toggle the switch on and off. All right, we're rolling right along. Provo traffic, November 350 Kilo Tango's crossing runway 36 on Alpha. All right, that looks good. All right, no threats on that runway. Let's keep going down. Now, one thing I did learn about this aircraft, if we taxi speed goes over 30, the aircraft has got a governor on when it's in the beta mode to make sure that you don't taxi over 30 knots on the ground, which is the speed limit, if you will, for the pilots on the ground here and everywhere in the United States. You guys like that little accent? Don't say I didn't give you guys anything for Christmas. Alright. Let's check you guys out, see how you're doing. We're all still doing good. Rolling right along. Alright, still rolling right along here. And we're almost full length, which is good. Ooh, multitasking is not a good idea when you're taxiing this bad boy. That's what makes takeoff so interesting. This thing is all over the place. So we'll get here, get ready to go, and call out for our IFR clearance or release clearance. It's not takeoff clearance, it's a departure clearance. There's a difference. Takeoff clearance would him be saying, okay, this runway, take off. He's literally just going to tell us, hey, we're ready to go. You can take off whatever runway because it's an uncontrolled field. We're choosing this runway, which works to our general satisfaction and liking. All right, here we go. Here we go. All right. Alright, parking brake is most indubitably set there. Now we can come back over here, switch that over, and then of course we can get our departure frequency of 125.75 in there for the backup. Okay, clearance November 350 Kilo Tango here at Provo is #1 in sequence and ready for departure.
350 Kilo Tango is released for departure. Clearance split if not off in 5 minutes. If not off in 5 minutes, advise intentions. Only 1 minutes from now. The time 0423. Change to advisory. Frequency is approved.
Okay, if not off in 5 minutes, we'll notify of intentions within 10 minutes, and we will advise airborne on departure. Frequency change approved. November 350 Kilo Tango. All right. Technically, we should go back to our other thing and announce that, but we'll simulate that. Provo traffic. November 350 Kilo Tango departing straight out, runway 13 at this time. Climbing unrestricted up to 17,000 feet. Provo traffic. Alright, landing light, taxi lights are on, strobe is on, and we're not going to forget our condition levers again. Those are going all the way up. And our pitch trim just needs to be reset. So, off on. That's off on the annunciator panel, and we are legit. And then, of course, we'll be airborne, so then the next frequency we're going to be tuning into is 125.75. Here we go, folks. All right, final looks clear. Runway does look clear. Flap set to takeoff. Alright, I just took the aircraft out of beta. You can hear the noticeable difference in the engines, which means I need to be really aggressive with the brake. Alright, here we go. Try to have a better takeoff than we did last time. Takeoff power is being set. Airspeed is alive. Trying to stay right under that torque and that ITT this time. V1 and rotate. Positive rate. Landing gear is coming up. We're not scared. Alright, we'll let the aircraft continue to climb in this profile, which looks good. Down here to our autopilot. Alright, back on autopilot, IAS climb, and we can essentially go right into the nav. And aircraft should be doing good. Okay, aircraft is not doing good at all. So, let's fix that. I don't know what happened there. It's always something interesante. Alright, I don't know what happened there. Let's get the nose to come down. No stall there. Again, we're not scared, folks. Let's get back on our heading. We're going to go back over to the correct heading. And again, it's always an autopilot issue. That was not good at all. But that's where you don't panic. We're still VFR right now, so we'll contact departure here in a second. Once we get our lives situated. Okay, so we need to go up here. Let's stay on course. Flaps are coming up. We got to get enough altitude here, of course, to get past this mountain. So I'm just going to fly it manually. Alright, so as long as we stay basically on this heading, we'll be okay. Salt Lake City departure, number 350 Kilo Tango, 8,400, climbing 17,000. Let's do some rudder trim here. Plane wants to go to the left. Alright, how are we looking on those mountains? We're not doing too bad. We'll get our lives situated here in a second. Still need to figure out what is popping on with that autopilot, because I have no clue. Just want to get the airplane stable enough and get it trimmed down and all that stuff above these mountains before I start worrying about autopilot issues. Salt Lake City departure number 350 Kilo Tango, 11,000, climbing 17,000. Alright, you guys heard him, 12575, and he's not showing up at all. Comm 1 is on. Alright, let's do our little turn here on over to, I'm going to trim the plane down slightly. Let's do our little turn over here. Back on course. And then now I can start using the aircraft's trim features. Let's see, I'm trimming it up. Let's do some left or right rudder here. And we'll get the landing lights off. Bit of a rough departure. Alright, we're essentially kind of on a heading I'm okay with, and a profile. Let me just trim her slightly to the right. She wants to keep going to the left. Alright, let's take a quick peek down here and figure out what is going on. Yaw engage. Let's see. Autopilot. Alright, let's see if that made a big difference on what we're doing. Now she's trying to turn. It's alright, we're going to get past this, folks. Alright, let's try this again. There she goes again, turning on us. Alright, let's trim her down as well. Alright. We're going to go autopilot, heading. Let's see how that works first. So now we're getting on a heading, which is good. So that piece is working. Now let's do our IAS climb. There we go. That piece should work. Let's throw on some power. Now we can come over here and do direct to ARBA, activate that, and then now we can come back down here and hit the nav button. So not quite sure what happened with that before, and let's come on over here now, figure out why we have no comms.
Angel Center 126.35.
But we can come here now, see we're on course. Salt Lake City departure number 350 Kilo Tango is 17,000. And we were given a frequency of 12575 for departure, but it didn't sound like that worked, so we'll just report here.
I thought I heard you on that frequency, sir, but you can stay here for now. 350 Kilo Tango, select departure radar contact.
Okay, thank you, sir, and we'll stay right here at number 350 Kilo Tango.
Alaska 1370.
All right, so
Oakland Center 132.2. We'll see you.
Again, we always know every flight is going to be a delight.
Citation 716 Delta Mike, contact Denver Center 133.67.
Landing and taxis off. Landing and taxi lights are off, of course. We could get recognition off. Strobes are on. And we're at our cruising altitude, of course. And finally, back on course. Now we can kind of...
1370 Oakland Center, roger.
We'll bring that down so we don't
Alaska 1370,
make anything happen that we don't want to, like that horrible takeoff. So, we got past it.
Correction number 350 Kilo Tango. Try Salt Lake Center again on 125.57, 2557. We'll see you.
Okay, over to 125.57, and to be honest, I think I had the 5 and the 7 backwards, so we'll see on 125.75, number 350 Kilo Tango. Alright, so I think that was absolutely my fault. 125. I had wrote it down right, but
ready to go runway 21 at Alpha 2.
Or 716 Delta Mike, Denver Center, roger. Learjet 213 Golf Flagstaff Tower. You should be further down the runway, sir. Is there more runway to your left?
just wait for him to finish his comms.
All good, number 2123 Golf, right turn to the west, approved, runway 21, cleared for takeoff, wind calm.
Salt Lake City Center, number 350 Kilo Tango, checking in 17,000. All right.
Number 350 Kilo Tango, Salt Lake Center, the Provo, altimeter 3053.
3053, number 350 Kilo Tango.
Citation 716 Delta Mike, cross Rams at maintain
all right.
7,250 knots.
So now we're cruising.
Altimeter 3019er.
Crossing Rounds at 17,000. Citation 716 Delta Mike, below 250 knots.
We are here in the back. Woo! Looking at some pasajeros. There we go. Boy, that was a rough takeoff. We don't want to duplicate that one again.
Station 6911 Juliet, Denver Center, radar contact.
Alright, part of the problem too is I couldn't see this map. So now, if we do the same thing over here.
For you, contact Denver Center 127.02.
There we go. Now we're direct arbor, so this matches up nicely. And now we can leave our visual representation over here, and then we can go and go to the flight plan page here so we can see this. And of course, let's come back out here and make sure that we're monitoring everything and we don't have any more issues. Because I tell you, that was ugly. And I don't know what was going on with the autopilot. Maybe I re-clicked it or something. It didn't engage. And next thing you know, the aircraft was doing all these funky stuff. Plus, the way you have to look at it in this aircraft is kind of funny. You got to look down at the pedestal, but also look up. Again, that's why you have a co-pilot. Even on this aircraft requires a co-pilot. But We're going in it alone.
Center 1 Juliet, Denver Center, climb and maintain for level 380.
That's 380. Descend level 0.
So Telluride, there's the eastern arrival and a western arrival. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the information right now regarding what the weather is doing there. So, let me make sure my volume is turned up. They're coming a little bit low on my earpiece. Looks like it's turned all the way up. All right. Please give us something good. So right now the winds are definitely out of the west. It's 6 knots. Altimeter is 3036. No big deal. Visibility is 10. It's VFR conditions, so that's a good sign. So we're going to be planning on the western arrival. If we plan on that western arrival and we come over here to our charts, we can look and see what type of approaches that we have. Okay, so that's approach for runway 9. And everything here is for 9, which is very interesting. Because the winds aren't favorable to that, so we also can do this VOR DME. And let's look and see what that looks like, what that means for us. Essentially here from cones we come in, and the airport should be here, and if we don't get it, we turn back around. But it's full visual, and it's uncontrolled field, so we're going to swing it around and come on runway 27 for sure. So I'm not even worried about this. Yeah, we'll just hopefully from cones get a visual. If not, what I can do is let me come back over here, actually to the flight plan, and let's add a procedure. Let's load a procedure, and we'll load an approach. Again, if you see here, there's nothing for 27, and the winds are out of the west. So we are going to be doing this VOR. We're not going to load, approach, and activate. We're just going to load it. And the only reason I'm doing that, so we have some visual cues that can work for us. So there you go. Try getting some music on board and see how that works out for us. If we can't hear anything, we'll make a change. Alright, at least we can do at this point. Bounce our heads a little bit and enjoy the ride. After that horrible takeoff was okay, but then the departure after leaving the runway was horrible, so we won't be duplicating that again. Alright, and as you can see, not far at all. Here is arch, parox, cones, and then we're arriving into the area, so we're doing good. We are doing good. This is not going to take us long at all, folks. Funny, the first officer side over here is very basic. All right, let's
background noise barely readable.
Okay, at least we can hear him barely. Let me turn it down slightly. All right. Cruising right along on this Thursday after our second leg takeoff, which was horrible. But we're alive. We recover as usual. Nothing can stand in our way. There's always something on these flights that makes it interesting. See how we're doing on fuel here. Since we didn't refuel, we're about 2,000 pounds, which is more than enough.
Alaska 1370, contact NorCal approach 119.2.
419.2, Alaska 1370.
Alaska 1370, NorCal approach, runway altimeter 3049er, turn left heading 180 vectors, visual approach runway 16 right, and descending and maintain 8,000.
All right, cruising right along. Let's check in with you guys. You guys are doing great. Thanks for staying on board. And we will be arriving into the Telluride area.
It's readable, but there's background noise again.
Must be having some issues there. Whew, got to sit up a little bit. It's getting numb. Can't have that. We cannot have that. So, again, aircraft issues, autopilot issues, could be the user issue once we took off. But we recovered very sloppily. We wrote down the wrong frequency. We're not tripping about it, but that was our mistake. So there's always something. There's always some type of error or what have you. That's what makes life interesting on these flights. You get on here thinking, oh, I'm going to do a nice, easy flight. Turns out, on a beautiful, clear day as such,
185 Delta Foxtrot, Salt Lake Center.
got issues. All right. Rolling right along. Let's check our map out here. We're doing good. We got about 46.4 nautical miles till we get to Arch, and then everything else is much shorter.
185 Delta Foxtrot.
Then we'll be there.
Filed. How are you going to join Victor 8? Is there a departure procedure you can fly out of that airport to join Victor 8 from there, or what was your plan there?
All right, we can literally just bounce our heads and roll. We don't even have to talk. Let's just enjoy the sight. Enjoy the fact that we're still alive after my horrible departure from Provo.
185 Delta Foxtrot, very good. Clear to the John Wayne Airport via Bryce Canyon VOR. Victor 8 then is filed. Maintain 14,000. Departure frequency 125.
All right, so we got arch, pararox, and cones. Once we get direct cones, I can essentially put it right into here. And but we'll still need to make sure that we have it on the heading mode. So once we get direct cones, I'll straighten that up. I'll get direct there, and then we'll have an indicator of where we need to be. Elevation at Telluride.
Are you back correct? Hold for Liz.
9,000 feet.
1370, apologies. You got lost in the...
9,000 feet, folks. At Telluride, so essentially we are only, if you look at this, 8,000 feet above.
Yeah, the 180 is approved. If you have the field in sight and you can maintain visual, I'll just clear you for the approach with the left 180 to the north, approved for your descent. Are you able to do that? Otherwise, I'm going to have to climb you back up and take you back northbound.
There we go.
All right, last 57 maneuvers you need. Visual approach runway 16 right, contact Reno Tower 18.7.
Alright, there is no weather to get. There's no ATIS at that field, and it's not even towered. Here in a second, we'll get the advisory frequency programmed in there. Alright, alright, alright.
Alaska 1370 Reno Tower, runway 16 right, clear to land, wind variable at 4.
Just looking to see what pages I can use here. I like to recycle my notepad, and any pages that I didn't completely use, that's what I use. Alright, speed, everything's looking good here. Let's come down here and look up that advisory frequency for Telluride.
Alaska 542 Seattle clearance, clear to the Sacramento Capital Airport, Seattle 7 departure, radar vector Seattle VOR.
Alright, frequencies, the Unicom frequency or advisory frequency is 12300. Alright, and again, that's the only frequency for any type of precision approach.
542, read back correct. King Air 350 Kilo Tango, contact Denver Center 120.47.
Okay, going over to Denver Center 120.47, November 35 Kilo Tango.
Station 6911 Juliet, contact Denver Center 133.67.
Now, we know it's sick because it says Denver.
133.67.
3367, sorry about that. Go on, Juliet.
Denver Center, November 350 Kilo Tango, 17,000.
Can 350 Kilo Tango, Denver Center, the Grand Junction altimeter 3039er.
3039er, November 350 Kilo Tango. Alright, so
Denver Center, citation 6911 Juliet, part of the 383 division.
Citation 6911 Juliet, Denver Center.
3039er. Alright, 21 nautical miles to Arch. Then after we get to Arch, then we've got another 38.9 to Pararox and another 38.7 to Cones.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Sounds like somebody's got some hitting issues.
You need to turn that music down. I cannot hear you over the music.
Wow, good thing that wasn't our music. Alright, telling the pilot to turn it down. Hope he isn't texting and flying. Like me. Just kidding.
185 Delta Fox, sharp release for departure, clearance flight is off.
Alright.
It's off in 5 minutes. Advise intentions, another 1 minutes from now. The time is 0449er. Change to advisory frequency is approved.
So we have our advisory frequency there all worked out. And we'll continue to develop or check the weather for any new developments. Let's get another song in there. All right.
Citation 716 Delta Mike, contact Denver approach 120.35.
So altimeter's 3036.
0.35 citation.
Clear, 6 knots still. Heading wind is 290. So we're good for that approach on the western runway into Telluride. Now a little disclaimer that I want to let you guys know.
716 Delta Mike, Denver approach, intended altimeter 3019. Information Bravo is correct.
That airport, the Telluride airport, in the scenery itself, usually there's this random aircraft that likes to be on the runway.
Station 716 Delta Mike, descend and maintain 13,000 and expect visual approach runway 17 left.
If we see him on the runway, we'll do a go around. Just letting you guys know that. Whew, there was a big gust of wind that just hit us. I don't know if you guys saw that. But it was really crazy, man. Alright. Making it happen, almost there. Not bad at all. Let's get a little health report on the aircraft. Everything here is looking good. There is nothing out of the normal parameters. Let's go ahead and put our anticipated arrival into this one too, so that the map reflects that. I'm gonna load that procedure. Approach, and we're saying we're doing the this one, and we'll just load it. There we go. Back to the map. Now, if we also want to look at some flight plan information and see if that approach is in there, we can come over here to menu and go to preview. Then you can kind of see that's what we're doing here. Here's the runway right here, essentially. So we're going to come down to cones and come downwind and swing back around for that western runway. So that's kind of the plan or the thought. That's the idea. All right. Now, as you can see, we're going direct Parox, so we got that in 37 miles.
Next terminal via November, Alpha. Cross runway 25 at Alpha and monitor ground. We'll see you.
All right, cruising right along. Hopefully all the medical supplies and passengers on board didn't lose all of their lunch on that departure.
Station 716 Delta Mike, turn right heading 160, vectors visual approach runway 17 left, descend and maintain 9,000.
All right, let's switch it up to a new jam. There we go. Who knew the pilot was a DJ as well? That's how we roll. Alright, everything pretty quiet there in the chat, which is good. Hope everybody is enjoying it so far. I know I am, even though there's been some questionable flying on departure from Provo.
Alaska 542, Seattle ground, thank you for Oscar, runway 16 left, taxi via Bravo and Charlie.
All right, 25.7 nautical miles to go to our next waypoint, which you can see right over here. Thank you, honey, for saying beautiful view. I appreciate that. Again, my lovely wife is always on board and supporting. Mwah. Mwah. Appreciate you, mama. All right, here we go. We'll be landing soon as well, honey. So we can talk about all the interesting idiosyncrasies of the flight, including that departure from Provo. It's all good. All right. All right, let's go over to the first officer side and see. There's a big canyon down there. It looks pretty cool. This situation right here, that's a pretty cool little view. Looks like a crater or something. Looks like a meteorite or something literally hit there and opened that space up. So that's interesting. Some interesting topography out here, of course, especially with Colorado, a lot of the cities being above sea level, or not sea level as you were, above a mile high. Like Colorado Springs is over a mile in the air. Denver City, they call that mile high city, of course. It's about 5,000 and something feet, where we're landing in Telluride is, it's almost 2 miles up in the air. It's 9,000 something feet, so you would figure if it was 10,000, almost 11,000 feet, that'd be 2 miles above sea level. And that's a huge issue when you're taking off as well, because the engines don't work as well at a higher altitude as, especially if it's hot. That air is a whole lot different to manage, getting enough oxygen and performance out of your turbine. This is a prop, but it still has a turbine engine, so that elevation and the temperature greatly affect the performance of the engines and its ability to take off and perform at its best. All right. Give you guys a quick snapshot. Now we're almost to Parox. Then again, there's the airport. So after Parox, we will be direct to Cones, which is right here. And once we get direct to Cones, no matter what, there is a visual of the airport. So you can see this is a non-precision approach here. Essentially, this is called the VOR DME. So essentially, once you get to a certain VOR, which in this case is Cones or Echo Tango Lima, that's the VOR, and then the DME part is the distance measuring equipment. So that'll give us how far that field should be from that VOR station, which is right here. And but it also gives you some points coming here. You need to be above 12,500 at this point, and then once you get to MAPSI, you should, no matter what, have a visual of the field. So essentially, we're going to come down here, and we are going to just miss this mountain system here. We're going to loop back around and come right back.
542 CL Tower, runway 16 left, cleared for takeoff.
Land on the runway, back taxi, and come back. So that's the plan. We'll see how that plan goes. Again, we can only plan for the worst and hope for the best.
350 Kilo Tango, contact Denver Center, 118.57.
Denver Center, 18.57, November 350 Kilo Tango. All right, over to Denver Center, 118.57. They like a lot of the 57s in here today.
6 miles for the field and site.
Denver Center, November 350 Kilo Tango, 17,000.
Citation 716 Alpha Mike. Cleared visual approach, runway 17 left, contact Centennial Tower, 118.9er. King 350 Kilo Tango Denver Center, roger. Let me know when you have the weather for Telluride and what your approach request is.
Okay, we do have the weather for Telluride, and we're looking at doing the VOR DME Alpha for Telluride for November 350 Kilo Tango.
Number.
I think it was the Alpha.
Or 716 Delta Mike, Centennial Tower, runway 17 left.
Yeah, it's the Alpha. VOR DME Alpha, so I said it right.
King Air 350 Kilo Tango. You don't want to do the procedure turn over Cones, correct? You just want to make it straight in?
Oh yeah, we can forgo the procedure turn and just go straight in if we could. We're taking runway 27 anyway because the winds are out of the west for November 350 Kilo Tango.
Air 350 Kilo Tango, clear direct Cones. Cross Cones at or above 13,000. Cleared VOR DME Alpha, approaching to Telluride.
Okay, clear direct Cones. At Cones, descend to maintain 13,000. Cleared VOR DME Alpha for November 350 Kilo Tango. Alright, so now we go direct to Cones. So now essentially on the flight plan, we're going to skip this Cones and come down to the second Cones. Or, yeah, this one here. So let's go direct there and activate that. And then we can start descending down to 13,000 feet. So let's kind of pull the power back now. And now we got to come down here and put it in the vertical speed mode, and we're going to go down. We'll see what 10 clicks does. So now we are descending. We got to watch our speed. And the altimeter there, I believe, was 3037. Alright, so let's go down a little bit more, nose down. bring our speed back. And the altimeter there is actually 3036, so there we go. Now, because we are in such a peculiar situation where the ground is actually closer than we would think, since it's at 9,000 feet, so we're going to just get all of our stuff here. We don't need any icing on. And we're going to prepare for our arrival. You can hear that wind chopping up around. So once we get to Cones, we're going to do a nice soft little left, and we should see the runway there. And again, it's at 9,000, so at Cones we'll essentially be, if it's at 9,000, we'll be at 13,000. It's only 4,000 feet difference. And I'm going to handle all of that manually. So if we orientate ourselves on this, as we get here
542, turn left heading
from our left window, from the pilot's window, we should have it right about the 11 o'clock once we come here. Well, I take that back. If we come here, it should be doing a right or left turn. It'll be right at our 12 o'clock, but we'll see how this works out. And then we're just going to take it. So we got about another 20 nautical miles till we get to Cone, so that's more than enough to drop our feet at this current profile. So we're inbound for the landing. As we get a little closer, we'll kill the music. Pick up a little bit on that speed. Got about 700 to go. All right. Now this arrival into the Telluride area is going to be a magnificent one. I want to say it's right over here. I think it's right over here.
Center 126.6.
I think we're essentially going to come around here, and it's over here on this shelf over here, if I remember correctly. So that should be it. Let's get past here, and I think that was it, what we saw, that shelf over there.
Seattle Center, Alaska 542, 10,700, climbing 15,000.
Alaska 542, Seattle Center.
Yeah, I think it's right over this mountain system, and the airport is over here. So we're essentially going to come over here and do a big loop, like a boomerang. I'm going to watch my speed here because sometimes this aircraft is a little bit harder to slow down. I think we can still have some good forward speed ahead. Once we get a little closer to Cones in a few miles, we'll shut the music off so that way we can focus. Not sure how this plane is going to do on the replays, but we'll do some replays once we land. And at the minimum, get us touching down and see what we look like. Alright, let's just verify landing lights are on. Everything is looking good here. We don't need any anti-icing. Alright. One thing we did on both flights we forgot to do is put that timer on, but sometimes, let's see if the flight timer is even... Sometimes it does it automatically with this GPS, so I just want to see something here. And I don't think it did, so we just kind of didn't do that piece today. That's alright though. That's the beautiful thing about being a sim pilot. Alright, we're getting ready to go for that turn here. So now let's get the music off.
Citation 716.
All right.
Taxi to parking via Alpha and remain this frequency. Good day.
All right, now we're making that turn. Let's start dialing this power back.
See it.
Now we're going direct to ICAF, and we need to be at 12,500. That's all right. We'll just stay here at 13,000 feet.
Vertical track.
That vertical track noise is just letting us know that there is a
4644 Denver clearance, clear the Albuquerque Airport, SUDS 1 departure to SUDS in the spiled, climb via SID, squawk 2542.
There's the runway right there, right on that shelf, right past this mountain like I was talking about.
4644, we got correct?
So there's the runway here, so we're going to...
350 Kilo Tango, no traffic between you and Telluride. Report your IR for cancellation in the air on this frequency on the ground within 5 minutes after landing on 122.2. Change to advisory frequency is approved.
Okay, we'll go over to advisory frequency and we'll cancel IRF on the ground for November 350 Kilo Tango.
Roger.
Alright, so the advisory frequency we said was 123.
42, contact Seattle
Enter.
5.1.
There it is. That's KTEX is the Telluride, and there it goes. So let's make this announcement, and then let's get to work. Telluride traffic November 350 Kilo Tango on the VOR DME Alpha, expecting runway visually 27 full stop for Telluride traffic. Alright folks, without further ado, now we're purposely turning the autopilot off. Here we go. Alright, let's slow her down and let's bring her in visually, folks. Start dropping some speed. Landing lights are on. Let's make sure we get our props all the way up. Okay, they are all the way up, which is good. Now basically we're just pretty much coming downwind of runway 27. This end of the runway is runway 9. So again, this is a tricky situation, so I'm bringing the speed back on purpose because I want to get as slow as we can go here. Alright, we're going first stage of flaps. Now we are literally, if you look to the left there, just over out of my windshield, you can see the runway there. Alright, flaps are set to that first stage. We have 2 more stages of flaps to go. Now this runway is long enough. It's more not necessarily about the length, but it's the speed we need to be at in order to kind of make this approach work. We're going another stage of flaps. Pitching the aircraft down slightly. Let's look at that runway. There she is. Alright, now that's just the outer marker. Now we're going to go ahead and put our landing gear down. The winds seem to be pretty calm here, so I think we can most certainly make it happen on this level of flaps. Telluride traffic, November 350 Kilo Tango, downwind of runway 27. We'll be making base turn here in about 2 minutes or less for full stop runway 27, November 350 Kilo Tango. There's that runway. Managing this hill here is very interesting. Trying to look and see if that random aircraft is out there. I don't see him moving anywhere, but you never know. Alright, so we are on approach to Telluride. Again, this is an interesting approach just because at times you have to come into the mountain system here. Alright, landing gear is down, 3 green, flaps are all the way down as you can see. There is no more flaps that we can do. Props are all the way up to full, prop sync is off, which we never turned on anyway. Alright, so what we want to do is basically just hug this mountain. Our base turn will be north. Let's go ahead and do a northern base turn. I really do enjoy flying this approach. And most of the times, to be honest with you, this is the runway that is always... I think I've landed on runway 9 once. For the most part, this approach always has me, based off the winds, always kind of has me coming on this runway. Let's pull that power back. She's getting away from me just a little bit. Alright, we got a good visual. As soon as we get over this little mountain, we'll drop a little bit of altitude, get at least down to 1,000 over. Right now, if you look at that bottom, if you look at my primary flight display, 1,420 is decreasing. That is our actual elevation above the runway, or above the ground. Well, actually, it's above the runway in this one. The runway stuff is programmed in here. Alright, I'm dialing that speed back again, folks. We are now turning to final. Telluride traffic, November 350 Kilo Tango, turn into final for runway 27, full stop, Telluride traffic. Alright, folks. Bringing that speed down just a little bit. Almost done making our western turn here. This turn will bleed a little bit of speed natively anyway. Alright. Here's that valley we can go into. We're 1,000 above, which is good. We got plenty of runway, so no worries there. I'm just using this little indent here to straighten us up. Again, plenty of runway. I don't see that aircraft. We will be using reversers. We're on a nice descent profile there. You can see speed is bleeding natively by itself. Alright, and we buttered it. Gears down. Again, everything worked out on this flight except a weird autopilot departing Provo. That was a very, very, very enjoyable approach. Negative 68. On an all-visual approach, we are bleeding speed. Reverses are off. Alright. And we'll cancel once we get off. Provo traffic, November 350 Kilo Tango, back taxi runway 27 to the ramp. Alright, folks. Another interesting day of flying. Flaps are getting cleaned up. We'll leave landing lights and all that stuff. I'll get the aircraft in the beta. Actually, we don't need beta here. We can let her roll because we're still on the runway. Actually, I will get it in the beta. This thing's everywhere. There we go. Now she's in the beta. There's that plane I was telling you guys about. That random plane, there he goes. He just came out of nowhere. I told you guys. All right, so welcome into Telluride. Definitely an interesting trip today. I appreciate you guys being on board as always. We'll click back over on 122 here in a second and make sure we handle that. Actually, we can do that now. If we can multitask here. Man, this thing is super bouncy. Alright, there's the terminal. Slow it down pretty good here. Salt Lake or Denver Center, November 350 Kilo Tango. Here at Telluride, clear of the runway, counts on IFR at this time.
350 Kilo Tango, thanks for the call. IFR cancellation received. We'll see you.
Thanks a lot. Happy New Year again. We'll see you next time. November 350 Kilo Tango. Alright. So, before we finish our final hoorah into the ramp and shut her down, we need to get our landing lights off. We can also, we'll leave the recognition off. Let's get the, I'm sorry, not the beacon, but the strobe off. And we can dial this back a little bit. There we go. And let's go ahead and park and watch the replay, and I'll let you guys go for the day. But if that sounds good to you guys. Alright. So this is the passenger terminal area over here, so we can essentially just start easing off over here. Telluride, a very small little area here, Colorado. So here's one of the parking spaces right here, which is, that's what we're aiming for. Again, we don't have any ground guide out there, which normally they would come out. They would know traffic was inbound, and they would come out and help us out. We're kind of on our own. Alright, parking brake is set. Let's go with our recognition light off, taxi light off. Let's go generators off, inverter off. As soon as that stops happening, let me move my visual sight there. That's off, and now we can shut her down. Alright. Pitos are coming off. The auto throttle, or the auto feather, is coming off. We need to come over here now, and we need to get our bleeds off, of course.
Yeah, it's 4644 Denver ground. Did you have 34 left ground up or 25? Both runners available.
Alright. Now let's go ahead and get our transponder went off just by nature because we turned the power off. We'll make sure that's all the way off, because we got to make sure that's all off and good to go, or else PilotEdge will have an issue with us. So let's come right over here and disconnect them. And let's get ready to do our replays, folks, because that's how we roll. Alright. We're going to get these replays rolling here for your viewing pleasure. Go ahead and get right into the replay. All right, here we go, here we go. Let's get a tower view here and see what we look like. There we are in the air. Such an enjoyable approach to fly. Got a little stutter there. I thought Sim was going to crash. I told you I'm always paranoid about the replays. The Sim likes to crash on the replays sometimes. Right at our target. There goes that butter landing. dropped her in nice and smooth and soft. All right, you guys know I gotta watch that one more time. Let's see that one more again. Maybe not so far back. All right there. I like it. All right, let's look at that profile. There was a slight bounce. Kissed it, little bounce. Nose down, all copacetic. Passengers' heads didn't jolt. Woof, man. I didn't know how the day was going to go after that tumultuous arrival or departure from Provo. You know how we do it. There we go. Pretty much center line. I'm happy with it. All right, now we're going to do this whole approach through that valley, because that was a beautiful approach that I think would be remiss of us if we didn't actually catch our whole loop going in there. Let's go back a little bit more. All right, we'll kind of catch the whole loop. All right. Let's get some better jams for us. There we are for our arrival music. And we're going to ride it in, folks. Let's get it back just a little bit. Let's see where we were at. Okay, there's the runway. We were straight. So now let's come back here. Ooh, beautiful view here. So that's what we're going to take it in. Before I start this replay, because I'm going to let you guys ride out to it. You know how I like to do it. I just want to say thanks for watching the stream. Thanks for joining. Thanks for the support, honey, and everybody. Again, it's not about how many people are watching it. I just want the people that are watching it to enjoy it. Quality versus quantity. That's what I'm talking about. Appreciate you guys. Happy Thursday again. We're going into the weekend. I don't know when the next stream will be. It'll be impromptu again. And if it's not, I'll plan it out. But until then, stay safe. Take care of each other. Let's ride out to this landing and some music and call it a day. God bless everybody. Hope everybody stays safe from COVID. Take care of your families. Display some patience. Stay motivated. And always plan for the worst and hope for the best. All right, we're about to get into this. And until next time, you guys take care.